CBS 4 News is always on CBS4.com.
We now join Up to the Minute in progress.
1,158 after closing Monday down 158 points. The Nasdaq is at 2,305 after closing Monday off 54 points. We're back in 2 minutes. This is CBS News Up to the Minute.
No matter how hard I scrubbed and scrubbed, stains like limescale buildup and these rust stains just would not go away. Talk about frustrating. That's why now I only use Lime-A-Way. Lime-A-Way is specially formulated to tackle hard water buildup, tough rust stains, and gritty limescale, indoors and out. Watch it dissolve this solid limescale right before your eyes.
All around your house for lime, calcium, and rust.
Lime-A-Way is a must.
Now in a new trigger formula. Works even better on limescale.
Diamonds. The Jewelry Exchange imports diamonds direct from site holders. We have thousands, most GIA or EGL certified and guaranteed the lowest price. Compare the top chain stores 1 carat imperfect diamond for $47.99 with our certified ISI quality for $2,900. 1 carat solitaires are $5.99, half carat fancies $3.99. The Jewelry Exchange has thousands of mountings and your diamond is set while you watch. 3-stone semi-mounts are $99. Buy factory direct and save. The Jewelry Exchange with superstores nationwide.
Watch out! That hot dish can slip, causing a big mess. You need the UV Glove, now with non-slip silicone grips for great protection and control from the oven to the stove. It's made from the same flame-resistant material used by firefighters, Nomex and Kevlar by DuPont. This tough material resists intense heat up to 540 degrees. The UV Glove is perfect for the barbecue or hot jobs around the house, even arranging logs in the fireplace. The UV Glove, now with non-slip silicone grips.
The UV Glove is available at Target, Rite Aid, CBS, and Linens and Things.
Rodents are a threat, and in my 16 years as an exterminator, I've seen many homes like this one. So in my home, I'd use Decon baits. It guarantees rodent elimination. That's why I trust Decon.
Decon, America's #1 brand.
I'm a nurse, and washing my hands all day makes my skin raw.
Gold Bond Ultimate Healing Lotion, 7 intensive moisturizers and 3 vitamins.
It works better than any lotion I've ever used.
Can your lotion do that?
Gold Bond Ultimate. This stuff really works.
It's 40 past the hour. The holiday food temptation battle is only just beginning this season, and many Americans are already losing. Some 127 million American adults are overweight, including as many as 66 million who are obese and 9 million who are morbidly obese. Most health experts point to the usual reasons: too much eating, not enough exercise. But new research suggests for many people it has less to do with willpower and more to do with genetics. CBS's Katie Couric has more.
Only home from the top, double curl.
For Scotty Hill, losing weight has always been 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Turn, step right.
Is it hard for you? She's 28, a social worker in New York City, and has spent most of her adult life either starting a diet or breaking one.
How frustrating has it been for you, Scotty, to diet only to have the weight come back?
Extremely frustrating. And extremely tiring. That's me as a little girl.
Scotty, who has weighed as much as 283 pounds, says it infuriates her when people assume she's undisciplined.
I work like crazy and have not spent my life filling my mouth with food and lying around the house all day long.
In fact, there's a growing school of thought that what makes Scotty heavy is determined by her brain chemistry and genetic makeup.
It's like your eye color or your height, your blood pressure. These are all instances of very strong genetic predispositions.
Dr. Rudy Leibel has been studying the science of weight for 30 years. He says people like Scotty have actually been blessed with the hardiest of genes that have helped the human race survive.
Pastrami and corned beef, that's all it is.
But in today's society, where food is everywhere,
2 large fry.
Those genes are more of a curse.
There are a set of genes that we have acquired as a result of evolution over the past several millions of years that are designed to save energy, to make us efficient, to favor the ingestion of food.
To help us if there's a famine, for example?
Exactly right.
Doctors have isolated at least 30 to 40 genes that affect body weight. Some of these genes produce hormones like ghrelin, which tells your brain, I'm hungry. Another hormone is leptin, which is secreted by fat cells. It signals the hypothalamus that you have enough stored fat to survive and don't need to eat. These mice, for example, are producing the right amount of leptin.
So these guys eat normally, run around, they're very happy.
But in many overweight people, the brain may not be receiving the message their leptin is sending. The message of, I'm full.
This guy has a mutation of the leptin gene, and you can see that this animal is much fatter, virtually inactive, and if we were to measure its food intake, it would be eating more food, obviously, than these guys.
Looks pretty unhappy, too.
Well, it's very big, so if we gave this animal very low doses of leptin, just enough to replace to the level that's in these mice, the obesity would go away, the food intake would decrease, and this animal would ultimately look like one of them.
Really?
Yes.
Dr. Leibel believes within the next 10 years, there will be medications that will help reduce our collective girths, much like statins have reduced cholesterol.
Are you saying that willpower has nothing to do with obesity?
I'm saying that when you look at something as complicated as body weight, there is a biology, there are basic hormonal and neurologic phenomena that actually dictate this kind of very complex behavior.
I'm going to show you savory chicken in particular because it's my favorite. I think for me, I finally decided in order to lose weight and to maintain an ideal weight, it's something that I have to be conscientious and aware of every single day.
So far, Scotty has lost 57 pounds and hopes to lose another 50.
Reverse turn straddle.
While she's relieved to learn that her weight may be in large part determined by her genes, she is determined to fight Mother Nature and prove that her behavior can be more powerful than her biology.
Katie Couric, CBS News, New York. Also on this morning's Health Watch, trying to beat nature to the punch when it comes to the common cold might be easier than you think. CBS's Dr. Malika Marshall reports.
It doesn't matter how old you are. Chances are you'll get a cold this winter.
I'm just really tired and kind of weak.
Sore throat, itchy eyes.
The saying goes, you can't cure the common cold. But research is showing you can reduce your chances of getting one by doing some simple natural things to boost your immune system, like eating garlic and yogurt. Maureen Spencer is the infection control manager at the New England Baptist Hospital. She reviewed the research on a number of natural approaches to strengthening our ability to fight off harmful bugs.
This is andrographis. That's been proven by 7 randomized clinical trials that this absolutely will alleviate upper respiratory infections. And this is actually based on the elderberry herb.
That's found in Sambucol, and an Israeli study found that it suppressed the influenza virus.
This is pelargonium. Actually reduces the severity of the respiratory symptoms.
Astragalus is an ancient Chinese herb being embraced by Western science.
This is just something that will enhance the immune system.
What about vitamin C and zinc? Some research recommends a high dose of each at the onset of a cold. The verdict is more mixed on echinacea. One study did show some promise, however.
This particular type, Purpurea, is the better brand.
But Dr. Guy Pugh does have this caution.
These are not generally tested rigorously for either harmful side effects or effectiveness.
The best advice is to do your homework before trying anything new. Dr. Malika Marshall, CBS News.
We'll be right back.
Paula Sela is a real Geico customer, not an actor. So to help tell her story, we hired that announcer guy from the movies.
When the storm hit, both our cars were totally underwater.
In a world where both of our cars were totally underwater.
We thought it would take forever to get some help.
But a new wind was about to blow.
With Geico, we had our check in 2 days.
Payback. This time, it's for real.
Geico. Real service, real savings.
Honey, turn off the light.
Has this ever happened to you? Presenting the Clapper. Lets your appliances turn on and off just by clapping. Clap on the music. It's easy. Just plug the Clapper into any household outlet, then plug in your lamp, TV, or stereo.
Clap on, clap off.
For places hard to reach, the Clapper makes it easy. Plus, the Clapper comes with an extra feature to make your home more secure. Turn to the Away function, and your lights turn on at the first sound it hears. Minutes later, they turn off. And the Clapper resets to help protect your home. Leave your appliances plugged into the Clapper, and your lights will go on, turning away unwanted guests.
Clap on, clap off. The Clapper.
The Clapper is available at Walgreens, CBS, Rite Aid, Kmart, participating Ace and True Value, Do It Best, and WonderfulBuys.com.
Every year, tar and creosote buildup causes thousands of chimney fires. Help protect your home with CSL Creosote Sweeping Log, now accepted by the Chimney Safety Institute of America. Each time you use your fireplace, flammable tar and creosote builds up and can catch fire. Simply burn CSL like your regular log. Its active minerals will dry out and reduce dangerous tar and creosote deposits, making your home safer. Get CSL Creosote Sweeping Log.
Available at Target, Rite Aid, Walgreens, and Supercenters.
Coming up, do you know how to determine how much you should weigh? By calculating your body mass index, you'll get the answers in a special series, Overweight in America. See how to transform your health on The Early Show.
'Tis the season to eat, drink, and be merry and feel guilty about those extra pounds. All week, CBS News tackles the weighty issue of our time. What makes some people fat? What works and what doesn't? Don't miss our special series, Overweight in America, the science, the solutions, on the CBS Evening News and The Early Show. Overweight in America, the science, the solutions, tonight on the CBS Evening News.
As the year draws to a close, it's only appropriate to look back on all that's happened over the past 11 months. While some things are worth forgetting, there was plenty that deserves a little more of our time. The folks at Scientific American magazine have been considering just that, and they're out with this year's Scientific American 50, a list which recognizes 50 outstanding contributions to science and technology that promise to improve the way we live. For more on the list, we welcome Scientific American Editor-in-Chief John Rennie. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
First of all, did you notice any trends among the winners this year?
Sure. Some are continuations of trends that we've seen in previous years. For example, a lot of work being done on hybrid cars and other sorts of cleaner cars that would cause fewer problems for global warming. Stem cell technology, of course, has been very much in the news for past years, and this year was a continuation of that. But we were also struck by a lot of things like, for example, sort of science-oriented philanthropy. A lot of big names giving enormous quantities of money to help advance the cause of science and technology.
Well, speaking of big names, Warren Buffett made headlines this year.
Absolutely. You're not going to get much bigger money than what he had, and it was extraordinary last summer when he announced that he was going to give away basically his entire personal fortune to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which helps to raise the standards of living in developing nations by doing research to help the kinds of medical problems that they suffer from there.
Now, another big name, former Vice President Al Gore, and now a very popular environmentalist.
That's right, and that's really why we named him as our research or our policy leader of the year, because he's doing so much to raise awareness of global warming with his documentary An Inconvenient Truth. It's really brought a lot of people around on the issue, helped them understand how serious the problem is, and it's helping to make more activism on that issue.
And have you seen that kind of a response after that? I mean, have you seen more people get involved?
We're really finding that a lot of people, although a lot of the facts about global warming have been around for a long time, the fact is that seeing that movie, seeing the very strong case that he was able to make on film, really helped to clinch that. A lot of people seem to have changed their minds because of it.
Something else that's been very popular, a heated debate, has been over stem cell research.
Right.
And you highlight that as well on your list.
That's right. A lot of stem cell research has been controversial because people have worried about the issues of using embryonic stem cells, which are very controversial. Some kinds of advances were made on that sort of work, but for example, we were noticing that people were finding new ways to try to reprogram some of the grown-up cells that we have in our bodies and being able to turn them into different kinds of cells. Someday that might pay off with a lot of the same kinds of benefits that are associated with the embryonic stem cell technology.
Now, there was a little controversy surrounding the winner of last year's stem cell research. He's not on the list anymore.
No, that's right. Last year, the Korean researcher Hwang Woo-suk, he was exposed basically as a fraud. It was a huge scandal, really gripped a lot of the biomedical community that was taken in by this. He was our research leader of the year last year, but of course when all of this broke, of course we struck him from the list. It's unfortunate, but it's the nature of science that it does find these kinds of errors and frauds over time.
How'd that make you feel?
Well, you know, I think that you're never happy to be associated with a problem like that, but I think that you know, we're proud of the fact that as soon as problems came up, we immediately struck him from the list. That wasn't the kind of research leader of the year that we wanted, and I think we were really very pleased to see that science worked the way that it was supposed to, that the problems were found and people chased after this, and they basically repudiated bad research.
Do you have anything on the list that you considered maybe it's a risk that you're taking this year?
Oh, sure. I mean, I think there were a lot of people who see that, for example, are naming Al Gore as our policy leader of the year, that there's something that's particularly political about that. You know, I think some people are also always they're always curious about when we are recognizing for car companies, for example, right, for doing things to try to help the cause of global warming. A lot of people would see the car companies as having contributors to the problems with that, but I think you have to accept the fact that when Daimler and BMW and GM are all finding new sorts of automotive technologies that will try to improve fuel economy and that will reduce the amount of emissions going into the air, you have to encourage that however you can.
Okay. There's also something that touches a lot of people with the elderly, Alzheimer's. It seems like there have been some advances this year. Some big ones. Are we getting closer?
We're getting closer. You know, Alzheimer's is going to be a long, slow problem to beat. But in this past year, there were several new studies that came out that found various ways of trying to understand what happens at the cellular level that causes this problem. Basically, inside our brains, when we have Alzheimer's disease, these kinds of tangles of protein form, and these tangles kill the brain cells and cause the problems associated with Alzheimer's. We have a little better understanding now of just how that works. Someday, probably not soon enough, this will turn into some sorts of therapies.
All right, and we're almost there. It's almost 2007. Let's look ahead. Anything that you can predict that will be on next year's list?
Well, I mean, I think we're probably surely going to see more improvements in robotics, for example. That's something that we had a couple of different robotic prizes this year, and I'm sure we're going to see more advances in that. I think stem cells is going to be with us. Nanotechnology, though, big buzzword. That's something that we're going to see become more and more real all the time.
And real quickly, what was your favorite thing on the list?
Probably the one that I liked best was some work being done by an MIT researcher who is herself visually challenged, who developed a kind of seeing machine that can help people who have visual impairments to see better.
Scientific American, featuring the Scientific American 50, is on newsstands now. Editor-in-Chief John Rennie, thank you.
Thank you.
Now a look at your Tuesday morning weather. The latest satellite picture shows a good deal of cloud cover over the entire nation, except for the southwest and east coast. Later today, the southwest and east coast will be pleasant and mostly sunny, while it will be much more like winter in the Rockies and northern plains, with snow showers, whipping winds, and cold temperatures.
Free?
You're giving it away free.
Hi, I'm Rob Graham, the president of Vital Basics, and I want to give you a bottle of Focus Factor, one of our best-selling supplements, absolutely free. Why would we give away a free bottle of Focus Factor? Because we know that if you try it, you'll buy it. Focus Factor contains nutrients that work with your natural brain chemistry to support focus, concentration, and memory.
Focus Factor is now available at Walgreens and CBS Pharmacy, but if you call now, you can try it free.
Simply call the number on the bottom of your screen and we'll send you a full-size bottle of Focus Factor, a $75 value, absolutely free. You simply provide $4.95 to help cover the cost of shipping.
They let you try it free? It must be good.
You know, I've been taking Focus Factor since we introduced it over 2.5 years ago, and I wouldn't work a day without it.
Buy it at Walgreens and CVS Pharmacy, or call now and try it free. Call 1-800-262-1762.
Still frustrated by your lower back or neck pain? An astonishing new DVD exposes why most doctors have no idea what to do when their patients suffer with lower back and neck pain. They try drugs and other ineffective treatments, hoping that someday the pain will go away, but it never does. Don't take another pill or even consider surgery until you get your free copy of the DVD that can change the way you can live life without back or neck pain. Call the toll-free 24-hour recorded message now at 800-245-0956.
I just can't seem to get enough. I keep coming back for more, night after night. I'm talking about the good time I have on Nightline. It's the hottest scene with all kinds of crazy fun. And it's free to try. So grab your phone and get some excitement on Nightline. Call now.
Call 786-522-1111 or 954-678-1111 now.
It's said for every light on Broadway, there's a broken heart. But dreams do come true. Here's Richard Schlesinger.
There are a lot of young women who would say Jessica Lee Golden is one of the luckiest people in the world.
Okay, call me.
Her mother is taking her from her home in Parsippany, New Jersey, to the 3:30 bus bound for New York. But it's not the city she's headed for that makes her the envy of so many. It's the street. Jessica has found a home on Broadway.
This was my dream job since I was 10. I think this show that made me fall in love with musical theater.
One singular sensation, every little step she takes.
She's just 20 and starring in the revival of A Chorus Line. She plays Val, the surgically enhanced cynic who got the Broadway job she dreamed of with a nip and a tuck and a little bit of luck.
Tightened up the derriere, did the nose and all that goes with it.
Jessica's real-life story is kind of like a showbiz fable.
1, 2, stretch off.
She had no agent and no Broadway experience when she showed up to audition with nearly 1,000 other young women looking for that 1 in a million break.
The odds were very slim. I just wanted to go.
But the odds got better very quickly. Out of all those people, director Bob Avian noticed her almost immediately.
There's always that person you spot in a crowd and you go, who is that? And keep your eye on them and they demand your attention.
Jessie was that person that day?
Absolutely.
Here's how quickly it happened for her. Just a few months before she hit Broadway, Jessica was doing a road show in Akron. But she was back home with her parents in New Jersey when she got the call that she got the part.
I just, everything that I worked for my entire life was happening with that one call.
It meant that much to you?
Absolutely.
We did what we had to do.
She's gotten reviews actresses only dream of. Boffo, said The New Yorker, owns her role, said The New York Times. It's a lot for a 20-year-old to get used to.
Hi.
And now her art is imitating her life.
I kissed the folks goodbye, got on a Trailways bus and headed for the Big Bad Apple.
Except she's had to move to New York from Parsippany. Makes it easier to dance 8 shows a week and start looking for her next big break. Richard Schlesinger, CBS News, on Broadway.
CBS News. See it now, anytime, anywhere.
Now on CBS News, up to the minute. The war in Afghanistan takes center stage as President Bush arrives in Latvia today for the opening session of the NATO summit. Insecurity is tight in Turkey as Pope Benedict XVI arrives for a historic 4-day pilgrimage to the Muslim country. Good morning from CBS News headquarters in New York. This is Up to the Minute. I'm Meg Oliver. President Bush arrives in the Baltic nation of Latvia this morning for the opening session of the NATO summit. At the top of the agenda, the war in Afghanistan. Taliban fighters have been staging an increasingly bold and bloody insurgency. And the 32,000-strong NATO peacekeeping force has been suffering unexpectedly high casualties. NATO military commanders say they need more troops fast. It's unclear which, if any, of NATO's 26 member nations will agree to send more soldiers. President Bush spent the night in neighboring Estonia. He's the first U.S. president to ever visit the former Soviet republic. The president is taking meetings with Estonian leaders before getting back onto Air Force One for the trip to the NATO summit. When the NATO summit wraps up, President Bush will travel to Amman, Jordan to talk strategy with Iraq's embattled Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki. The security situation in Iraq has deteriorated to such an extent that even the UN Secretary General is warning of an impending civil war.
I think given the developments on the ground, unless something is done drastically and urgently to arrest the deteriorating situation, we could be there and in fact, we are almost there.
The Bush administration refuses to call the sectarian strife in Iraq a civil war, but nearly 7,000 Iraqi civilians have been killed in the past 3 months alone. It remains to be seen what new strategy President Bush and Prime Minister Maliki can come up with to control the violence. The National Security Advisor Stephen Hadley admits the bloodshed has entered, quote, a new phase. CBS News Chief White House correspondent Jim Axelrod is traveling with the president.
The Bush administration's National Security Advisor Stephen Hadley has now gone further than ever before in describing the trend of violence in Iraq as a civil war. He still clearly disputes the notion Iraq is in a civil war, but on Air Force One he did say to reporters, we're clearly in a new phase characterized by this increasing sectarian violence. That requires us, obviously, to adapt to that new phase, and these two leaders need to be talking about how to do that. There is a huge difference when talking about a U.S. troop involvement between doing something noble like bringing democracy to a region and being caught in another country's civil war. The Arab countries want to see something from the United States. If they're going to engage in lowering the temperature in Iraq, they want to see the United States actively engaged in lowering the temperature between the Palestinian Authority and the Israelis. So that's why you have State Department spokesman saying that there's planning between Secretary Rice and Prime Minister Olmert, as well as Palestinian President Abbas for possible meetings. One other thing we want to show you, Iraq's President Talabani, we have some pictures of this, was in Iran talking with Iranian leaders at their invitation. Another idea that's been talked about, that Iran and Syria need to become more actively engaged in bringing peace to Iraq. But Iraq's Prime Minister Maliki now says that he wants to do the outreach to Iran and Syria, not the U.S. Jim Axelrod, CBS News, traveling with the president in Estonia.
As for getting Iran and Syria involved in diplomatic efforts, that's just one of the likely recommendations of the Iraq Study Group. The bipartisan commission headed by James Baker and Lee Hamilton is expected to issue its report within a few weeks. The most dramatic option on the table is an increase of up to 20,000 more American combat troops in the war zone. The Army is now studying how it could accomplish the buildup. But 2 weeks ago, the top American general in the Middle East told Congress the military could not sustain such troop levels.
We can put in 20,000 more Americans tomorrow and achieve a temporary effect. But when you look at the overall American force pool that's available out there, the ability to sustain that commitment is simply not something that we have right now with the size of the Army and the Marine Corps.
There's reportedly no agreement within the Iraq Study Group on whether to set an actual timetable for an American troop withdrawal. Some commissioners say that is the only way to pressure the Iraqi government to make the political concessions necessary to head off an even bloodier conflict. Security is tight as Pope Benedict XVI arrives in Turkey this morning for the start of a historic 4-day pilgrimage. The trip was intended to focus on smoothing relations between the Vatican and the Orthodox Church. That's been overshadowed by the uproar over the Pope's comments earlier this year regarding Islam and violence. CBS's Charlie D'Agata reports.
Pope Benedict isn't even here yet. Unprecedented security efforts are underway, eclipsing measures taken when President Bush visited here. An army of snipers, bomb squads, riot police, and anti-terrorism agents will be deployed wherever the pontiff goes. Turkey's preparing for the worst as the Pope makes his first trip to a Muslim country since his controversial comments 2 months ago linking Islam to violence. Many fear Sunday's protests, when thousands took to the streets of Istanbul, may be just a hint of what's to come when the Pope begins a 4-day visit to Turkey on Tuesday. But here on the streets of Istanbul, everyone we spoke to said they welcome the Pope with open arms.
He's welcome to our country anytime, anywhere.
We want him to be our guest.
You want him to be your guest?
Yes.
We have to respect that the Pope is here.
The original purpose of the Pope's trip to Turkey had been to mend bridges with Orthodox Christians, but 99.9% of Turkey's 70 million people are Muslim, and they're waiting for the Pope to mend bridges with them. Charlie D'Agata, CBS News, Istanbul.
Police in London are still no closer to finding out how a fatal dose of radioactive polonium got into a former Russian spy who had been strongly critical of the Kremlin. Alexander Litvinenko insisted on his deathbed that Russian President Vladimir Putin was to blame. Meanwhile, 3 more people in London are being treated for possible radiation poisoning. CBS's Sheila McVicker reports from London.
Polonium-210 killed the former Russian spy Alexander Litvinenko. Traces of the radioactive substance have been found at 2 new locations in London, including this office building. It's not yet known how it got here. In all, there are now 6 locations throughout the city where investigators have found traces of the radioactive substance. So far, at least 3 people are being tested for radiation poisoning. They're all reporting some kind of illness. One word the police are not using is murder. They are calling Litvinenko's death suspicious, but they also say they are not ruling anything in or out.
Sheila McVicker, CBS News, London.
Closer to home, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. In Washington, a 65-foot Pacific silver fir arrived on Capitol Hill. It was cut from Washington State's Olympic National Forest. Decorations come next, 10,000 lights and 3,000 ornaments. The tree lighting takes place December 6th. More news ahead. This is CBS News, up to the minute.
Are you sick of always going to the clubs? Are you ready to have a good time? Then change your plans tonight. Because who says you can't have fun just staying in?
Finally, I'm ready to chill, kick back, and enjoy some fun with tons of real local singles.
Talking, flirting, and laughing.
Don't miss out on tonight's party. You never know who you might meet.
So call now and try it free.
Try it free. Call 305-892-1111.
Did you know that almost 50% of student success is determined by teaching quality? I'm CBS 4's Rob Hanrahan. One of the greatest challenges for our community is recruiting, retaining, and rewarding the best teachers. The Education Fund's Great American Teach-a-thon highlights the critical role that teaching plays. All this month, you can help. Stop by any Washington Mutual Financial Center and donate directly to the Teach-a-thon. Support the teaching profession. It's the key to our future. And join the Teach-a-thon!
On our next show, I am picking out right now. It's day 2 of our trade-off. One house makeover swapped for a dream wedding day. Then I cried for 6 hours. I'm facing my biggest fear, bacon.
Rachel Ray, today at 3 on 4.
It is my first movie with Julia Roberts. Her best role yet. Life with her twins. Motherhood.
Is it what you expected at all?
Are you kidding me?
And marriage.
He hates when I talk about him, but I just...
The extraordinary Dakota Fanning.
What do you do with all the money?
The funny man who plays my husband, Cedric the Entertainer.
Hello, honey.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to need the checkbook.
Get a sneak peek at Charlotte's Web, next Oprah.
Today at 4 on CBS 4.
Next, E.T. Blake versus Kelly, round 2. We're on the live set again. Then new Anna Nicole.
Let's settle it. Are you on drugs?
Yes, I was on drugs.
Plus an E.T. reporter's secret wedding. Next, E.T.
Tonight at 7 on 4.
It's 10 past the hour. Pope Benedict XVI arrives in Turkey today, his first papal visit to an Islamic nation. His visit comes at a time of unrest in the Islamic world and only months after statements he made angered Muslims around the world. Father Thomas Reese, former editor-in-chief of the Jesuit magazine America and author of Inside the Vatican, joins us from our Washington bureau this morning. Good morning, Father.
Good morning.
How important is his visit in terms of improving the relationship between Muslims and Christians around the world?
Oh, this is an extremely important visit. Turkey is a Muslim country, and this gives him an opportunity to go there and show how much he does respect the Muslim faith, how much he respects their religiosity, their devotion, and how he would like to work with them for justice and peace around the world. And it's really going to be an opportunity for him to mend fences with Muslims who were very disappointed with his talk in Germany.
Well, let's go back a few months, and after he was quoting that 14th century Christian emperor characterized Muhammad's teachings as evil and inhumane. He later apologized. Can we expect another apology, and is it necessary?
Well, he clearly apologized for that statement, and he made the point that the quote that he had of the emperor did not represent his views at all. He was just quoting from that particular emperor. I think this is an opportunity for him to really show his respect for the Muslim faith. He's going to visit the Blue Mosque, which is the largest mosque in Turkey. This is going to be an opportunity for him to show how much he does like and respect Muslims and their faith.
How hard is it going to be to win over people who are against this visit? About 25,000 Turks already took to the streets to protest his visit last Sunday.
Well, yes, you know, there are people in Turkey who are using this for their own political purposes. Different political parties want to make statements, and in fact, actually, the turnout was less than was expected by the organizers. But, you know, I think that the vast majority of the people in Turkey want to have peaceful, good, positive relations with Christians. And he's the leader of the largest Christian faith. He's going to come there and tell them how much he respects their faith. He's going to visit one of their mosques. I think this is going to be an important step in healing this division between Muslims and Christians.
Do you think it could have an impact on the Iraq war?
Well, I mean, what's interesting is that this Pope opposed the war in Iraq. He's actually, on political and international issues, is much closer to the Muslims in the Middle East than he is to the Bush White House. He opposed the invasion of Lebanon by Israel and called for an immediate ceasefire while the Bush administration was encouraging the Israelis in their invasion. So he's been very concerned about Palestinian rights. So this is a pope who is not going to be the chaplain for NATO or chaplain for the Bush administration. This is not a pope who wants a crusade against Muslims. This is a pope who wants peace and reconciliation between the Christians and Muslims, and wants respect for Palestinian rights.
His approach is very different, obviously, than Pope John Paul II. So how is he doing so far in your eyes?
Well, actually, I think their approaches aren't that significantly different. They're both, you know, want to reach out to the Muslims, and of course, while visiting Turkey, to reach out to the Patriarch of Constantinople, the leader of the Greek Orthodox. I think that it was really just a sad mistake in some of the phrases that were used in his speech in Germany. And I think he can overcome that and really use this as an opportunity to have reconciliation with the Muslims.
All right. Well, we haven't seen Pope Benedict in the public eye as much as Pope John Paul II. Do you think we will see him making more trips of this nature in the future?
I don't think he really wants to make many trips. Remember, you know, he's much older than John Paul was when he was first elected. We have to think really more of John Paul at the end of his time. You know, John Paul, these visits were very important. I think that for Benedict, I think he much more wants to play up the role of his role as teacher and spiritual leader rather than as a pilgrim going around the world.
All right, Father Thomas Reese, author of Inside the Vatican, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.
Chia Pets, the pottery that grows. This holiday, we're celebrating 25 years of fun. It's a Chia-versary with a Chia alarm clock in every original Chia Pet box. Chia Pets are fun and easy. Spread the seeds, keep it watered, and watch it grow. Grow a collection of fun with all these Chia Pets. And don't forget about the Chia alarm clock in every original Chia Pet box. Chia Pets, 25 years of fun.
Available at Walgreens, Target, CBS, and Kmart.
This is your life. This is your life. Now that you're eligible for Medicare, you want to get the most out of life. But are you getting the most out of Medicare? Well, it's time for you to look into Secure Horizons health plans. You'll get Part D prescription drug coverage for over 1,300 brand name and generic prescription drugs. Predictable costs for doctor visits and medical services. a large network of doctors and hospitals. And with many of our plans, you get it all for not a penny more than you're already paying for original Medicare. You're always looking to get the most out of life. It's time to get the most out of Medicare. Call now to get this free package to learn more about Secure Horizons Medicare Advantage health plans. Live secure. Be secure. Secure Horizons by United Healthcare. Call this number today to sign up or to find out more.
Don't forget to rinse those dishes first.
That'll take forever. You don't need to rinse first with the Electrosol 3-in-1 tabs. The blue layer lifts stuck-on food. The white cleans tough stains. And the Jet Dry Powerball makes your dishes shine for 100% clean dishes.
Ooh, sparkling.
Electrosol Powerball tabs.
Also try 2-in-1 Electrosol gel packs. The only pack with 100% fast-dissolving gel, plus Jet Dry Rinse Agent action for sparkling clean dishes.
'Tis the season to eat, drink, and be merry and feel guilty about those extra pounds. All week, CBS News tackles the weighty issue of our time. What makes some people fat, what works, and what doesn't. Don't miss our special series, Overweight in America, the science, the solutions, on the CBS Evening News and The Early Show.
Coming up, do you know how to determine how much you should weigh? By calculating your body mass index, you'll get the answers in a special series, Overweight in America. See how to transform your health on The Early Show.
Overweight in America, the science, the solutions, tonight on the CBS Evening News.
It's 18 past the hour. Top stories and up to the minute. President Bush visits Estonia and Latvia today ahead of this week's NATO summit. Topping the agenda, the conditions in Afghanistan, where NATO has 32,000 troops and need more. Refusing to call Iraq's sectarian violence a civil war, President Bush's national security advisor says the conflict has entered a new phase and requires changes. And Pope Benedict XVI starts his 4-day visit to Turkey today. He'll try to mend fences with the Islamic nation months after comments he made infuriated Muslims worldwide. That suspicious fire in Missouri that destroyed a group home for the elderly and mentally ill, killing at least 10 people, is raising some hard questions this morning. Exactly how safe are those homes and who regulates them? A CBS News investigation uncovered some surprises. CBS's Armin Katayan reports.
The operator of the ill-fated Anderson guest house has reportedly been cited in recent years by the state of Missouri for the most severe violations of fire laws in 2 other facilities it runs. In October 2003, the state found that Joplin River of Life Ministries failed to obtain an annual fire inspection for its residential care facility in Carthage, and that staff members at another facility in Joplin placed a pencil in the reset switch to prevent fire alarm activation. Just last month, the Missouri Mental Health Task Force issued this draft report demanding far more protection inside all homes for the mentally disabled, but it may not have gone far enough.
We always need to be on our toes on oversight. We held 6 hearings in all corners of the state and heard from well over 100 witnesses, many hours of hearings, and no one in any of those hearings raised issues of fire safety and fire codes.
Homes for the mentally disabled have mushroomed in the last decade as mental health advocates push states to shift money from larger public institutions to smaller, privately run facilities, but not without problems. In New York, news reports of chronic abuse and neglect in adult homes prompted calls to overhaul the state system. In Kentucky, investigators recently found repeated medication errors, inadequate staffing, and poor sanitation. And back in Missouri, a recent investigation found over a 5-year period there were 21 deaths, more than 300 injuries, and almost 2,000 other incidents tied to abuse or neglect by caregivers. And late Monday, confirmation that the owner of the facility, Robert J. DuPont Jr., pleaded guilty to felony health care fraud in 2000 in connection with a scheme to bilk Medicaid and Medicare. Armin Katayan, CBS News, New York.
In overseas trading, Japan's benchmark Nikkei index closed down 30 points to finish at 15,855. Alexis Christoforous has more in this morning's CBS News Money Watch.
Walmart is expanding its $4 generic prescription drug program to all 50 states. It's adding 11 more states today, including California, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. The move completes the launch of the discount drug plan throughout Walmart's 3,800 pharmacies across the country. Walmart kicked off the discount program in Florida back in September with initial plans to expand it to other states in January. It moved up those plans after rivals Target and BJ's Wholesale launched similar programs. On Wall Street, stocks will try and recover from a post-Thanksgiving triple whammy. A weak dollar, rising oil prices, and disappointing sales news from Walmart pushed the Dow to its first triple-digit slide in 4 months. The Dow Industrial sank 158 points, while the Nasdaq tumbled 54. On the docket today, consumer confidence for November and October's home resales figures. Nissan is the latest automaker to roll out plans for an electric car. Japan's #2 automaker plans to develop and start selling subcompact electric cars powered by self-developed lithium-ion batteries in about 3 years. Nissan also plans to develop and sell gas-electric hybrid cars by 2010. It's an attempt to catch up with rivals Honda and Toyota in the development of eco-friendly vehicles. That's your Money Watch. Click on CBSNews.com for more. In New York, I'm Alexis Christoforous.
Now a look at your Tuesday weather. The latest satellite picture shows a good deal of cloud cover over the entire nation. Showers are falling over the northern Midwest and areas of the Central Plains, while the western states are seeing some wet weather. Meanwhile, skies are clear for the southwest and east coast. Later today, the southwest and east coast will be pleasant and mostly sunny, while it will be much more like winter in the Rockies and northern plains with snow showers, whipping winds, and very cold temperatures. North Dakota and northern Minnesota will be icy, and showers will stretch from the northern Great Lakes into the Midwest and central states. In sports, the Packers and the Seahawks faced off on Monday Night Football in the frozen tundra of Seattle. It was the first time snow blanketed a Seahawks home game. It was the kind of day on which Brett Favre usually shines, and he did throw for his 410th career touchdown. He's just 10 behind all-time leader Dan Marino. But the day belonged to Shaun Alexander, who ran for a season-high 201 yards and a career-high 40 rushes. Seattle won 34-24. In the NBA, it was a great night for Allen Iverson, but not so much for his 76ers. Philly was in Miami to play the Heat, whose star Dwayne Wade had his third straight game with at least 30 points and 12 assists. He's the first player to do that since Kevin Johnson in 1989. Iverson had an impressive 45 points, but he couldn't do it alone. Miami won it 103-91. In Dallas, the Mavericks were in danger of wasting their 20-point lead in the third quarter. Kevin Garnett's 19-point led the Timberwolves as they rallied to tie the game at 84 in the fourth. That's when the Mavericks' Josh Howard hit a key baseline floater with just over a minute left. Dallas hung on to win at 93-87 for their 10th win in a row.
Josh Howard with the rebound. And Eric Dampier may have snuffed out Minnesota's hopes to tie the game.
Do you suffer from vertigo or other dizziness, unsteadiness, or ringing in your ears? An astonishing new DVD exposes why most doctors have no idea what to do when their patients suffer from vertigo or other balance disorders. They try drugs and other ineffective treatments, hoping that someday the dizziness will go away, but it never does. Get your free DVD copy that can change the way you live without dizziness or other balance disorders. Restore the stability in your life now.
Call 1-800-417-7074.
Did you know that almost 50% of student success is determined by teaching quality? I'm CBS 4's Rob Hanrahan. One of the greatest challenges for our community is recruiting, retaining, and rewarding the best teachers. The Education Fund's Great American Teach-a-thon highlights the critical role that teaching plays. All this month, you can help. Stop by any Washington Mutual Financial Center and donate directly to the Teach-a-thon. Support the teaching profession. It's the key to our future. And Join the teacher fest!
South Florida is talking about CBS 4 News.
I turn to them first for my news.
CBS 4 News does a good job of balanced coverage.
More details, more pictures, more explanations.
CBS 4 News informs me of everything.
When there's breaking news, that's the first thing I do is turn on Channel 4.
I can tune in at any time and find out everything that's going on locally, weather-wise, traffic-wise.
They really have a heartbeat for what goes on in South Florida.
For the news you need now, turn to South Florida CBS 4 News.
Baby, can't stop crying.
500,000 babies are born premature every year. Many have serious health problems and thousands won't survive. But it's not too late to help prevent premature birth. You can make a difference. You and the March of Dimes. Help make research and education possible. Let's start saving babies together.
Just in time for the holidays, a high-tech treat for Beatles fans. It appears the two Apples have kissed and made up. Fortune magazine reports a possible marriage between Apple Computer and Apple Core. The company that licenses the Beatles' music could result in a deal to bring the Fab Four online. The deal would make Apple Computer's iTunes the exclusive digital distributor of the Beatles' extensive library of rock classics. As the Fab Four leaps into the digital age, so also has holiday shopping. As CBS's Cynthia Bowers explains, move over Black Friday. Hello, Cyber Monday.
The doors are open!
As if the commercial chaos that can be Black Friday weren't holiday hype enough, now retailers want us to buy into Cyber Monday with online bargains just one click away.
It makes it easy for me to get exactly the right gift for the right person.
She was just one of the 61 million of us expected to shop online yesterday. That's 20% of the population. Even so, experts say Cyber Monday, which was only coined a year ago, is already out of date.
People are shopping online all the time. They're not waiting to get to the office on the Monday after Thanksgiving to start their Christmas shopping.
Estimates are this year's online holiday sales will be up 24% to $24 billion, just 6% of what Americans are expected to spend this season.
Even the way we window shop is changing. It used to be we would window shop online, then spend our money here. Now Americans increasingly are doing their window shopping here and spending their money online.
Which is why major retailers are racing to catch that virtual wave.
Any retailer that doesn't have a real presence on the internet, a vibrant site, they're going to lose market share in total.
Meaning it's not the day, but the Cyber Month that counts. Cynthia Bowers, CBS News, Chicago.
And we thank you for joining us this half hour. This is CBS News Up to the Minute.
The season to eat, drink, and be merry and feel guilty about those extra pounds. All week, CBS News tackles the weighty issue of our time. What makes some people fat? What works and what doesn't? Don't miss our special series, Overweight in America, the science, the solutions, on the CBS Evening News and The Early Show.
CBS News. See it now, anytime, anywhere.